Do you have back pain? I have back pain too. A lot of us do. So how do we fix that? Well, this video, we're gonna bulletproof your back. Now, these are based off of the big 3 movements by Dr. Stuart McGill. He's brilliant. But how do we strengthen our backs and our cores in particular? Now, a lot of people don't really have weak backs. They have a weak core structure where bracing, stabilizing, anti-rotation, and also working in conjunction while we're moving with opposite arms and opposite limbs, okay? So what we're gonna do here is focus on those 3 big movements. I'm gonna show you how to do them, but first, we're gonna get a little mobility in, because if you're tight in your hip structure and you're tight in your lower back, doing these strengthening movements for your core won't really help you as much, okay? So the first thing, we wanna release our hip flexors a little bit. So a simple hip flexor stretch, hip flexors, rectus femoris, right in through the hip flexor area, TFL, psoas deep in here, but we're not gonna worry about that because I can't really get to that too much. So essentially on one knee here, so you think about squeezing this glute. Here you have a tuck in of the tailbone underneath, and you're simply gonna hold this right here, okay? So hold this for 10, 20, even up to 30 seconds, okay? So doing it with me. Hold it right here. Think about squeezing this glute. Then you'll feel a stretch right through the entire hip flexor complex. You want even deeper stretch through that TFL. You can take this foot, turn it in as well, and that'll stretch out that TFL, okay? Then we want to get the other side here. Just think about squeezing the glute. Squeezing the glute is a hip extensor. So if we squeeze this here and think about tucking that tailbone underneath, that is going to help stretch out the hip flexors there. Oof, that feels good, right? Just hold that 10, 20, 30 seconds, all right? And that will really help relieve some of the tension. After that, we're gonna go right into a cat camel. Okay, so this is going to help with some mobility in the lower back when we do the 3 big movements. All we need is 5 or 6 rounds of this. So I'll show you one here and you can do it with me. Hands underneath the shoulders, which you think about driving your hands down through the ground. So we come all the way up, get a rounding of the spine, tuck your chin in here, nice stretch through the upper back, mid back. Then we're gonna come down, exhale down, and that chin comes up. That's 1 round. Here we go. Come up, inhale up through the nose. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale down. That's it. Inhale up. Nice deep stretch up. Exhale through. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. That's it. 5 to 6 rounds is all you need of that. Once you go past that, you think maybe I need to do 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, there's a law of diminishing returns on that one. 5 or 6 rounds, that'll start to feel good, especially if you stretch out those hip flexors. Okay, first movement of the big 3 is the curl up. We're gonna modify this a little bit here. Now, it's kind of like a crunch, but we're not coming all the way up. We're not stretching our neck. We're not trying to get the sternum into the belly button. So here, hands underneath the lower back, so we stabilize that back right on the hip bone structure here. Okay, now what we're gonna do is have one leg straight out on the ground, the other leg is bent in flat here, and we're simply gonna try to curl up, brace, and get that anterior abdominal structure. We're gonna hold it for a count of 10. So essentially I'm gonna come up, my elbows are gonna come off of the ground, my chin comes up, I'm not tucking down, okay? So if there was like a pillow or a scale right here, that scale measures about 1 pound, all right? So I'm gonna come up, brace through the abs, hold there, shoulders just off, hold it there for about 10 seconds here. Keep it there. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. We're gonna slowly switch sides here, and we're gonna do that other side. Okay, foot flat, hands underneath. We're gonna bring the head up, bring the shoulders up, little crunch in, come up, and hold, crunch. So this is that isometric contraction. So we're working on that stabilization here. Good, hold it there, keep it there, keep it there, keep it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Simple movement. So how many of those do you do? 10-second holds, and they're gonna go into a dropping down motion. So essentially you could do a 10-second hold one side, short breather, switch to the other sides. You wanna do about 8 rounds of that. 20-second breather in between, you drop it down, and you can do 6 rounds, 4 rounds, 2 rounds, all right? It doesn't really matter, but it's easier to come down in repetitions as opposed to going up as you're getting more tired. Make sense? All right, next movement, side plank. Now, a lot of the times people, when they do side planks, they stack their legs. What we're gonna do is bring your top leg over, which will take away stress off of the lower back. Okay, this really works the QL and the lateral obliques here. Very important for your back. So then kind of come up, and your elbow is going to be directly beneath the shoulder. Modifications here, we can stack here and then come up here, okay, as we're stacked. Hold that nice and strong. Or here, foot in front, bring it up, hold right here. Same thing here. You want to hold for 10 seconds. If you can hold it longer, fine. Then you can drop down. So you hold it with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down. Take a few deep breaths. You can do that same side, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Switch sides, or you can keep going, alternating sides if you want. All right. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to say here. So 6, 7, 8 rounds of 10-second holds at a time. If you're more advanced, you can go into some rotational side planks. Hand behind, we can rotate through here, come up, control down, okay? Modify it as need be, all right? So you can always progress. It's easier to progress instead of regressing, okay? So don't try the hardest exercise first. Cool. Next one, last movement of the big 3 is a bird dog. Now, a lot of times when people are doing bird dogs, they're kicking this back leg out as high as they can above their glutes. They're reaching out, so they're getting excess extension here and pressure on the lower back. That's not what we're trying to do. So this here is really helping work the posterior oblique sling. Essentially here, the fibers that attach across the body, and they're attaching your glutes and your lats. This is really what we're working and trying to help stabilize as we're doing some sort of movement in that isometric hold. Okay, so the beginner bird dog, we're on all fours here. I'm gonna pick one leg up and just kick it out. See, my heel is below my glute. Just out and hold here. Brace through the abs. Hold for about 10 seconds on one side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can come down, switch sides, hold that for 10. Remember, we're not overextending here, okay? Nice and braced movement. If you want to make that a little bit harder, you can move with it, or we can come up off of the knees. So we just come up off of the knees here. You can tap one side, then the other side, slow, controlled, even moving. So we kind of got this cross-body bear crawl position, nice and strong. That's it. That's how you bulletproof your back. Those are the big 3. You can do those every single day. Now, if you're more of a beginner and you're really sore from doing this, take a day off in between. These are great to do before any run or any sort of workout that you're doing. I'm Joey Thurman. Follow me on all social media channels at Joey Thurman Fit. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much, and happy back. Cheers.